Good afternoon, everyone. And today we start our Good Vibes Only podcast. And here we are today with one more interesting theme. And our today's theme is Breath, the Missing Link. And this is our space where we explore simple yet powerful practices that can truly transform life. And I am welcoming today's guest. We are having with us Yukti Raj Kishore. Welcome, Yukti. Yes, so I am going to little bit introduce her and then we will start our today's discussion. It's going to be very, very interesting. So, of course, today's topic is something, every one of us are doing it every single moment. But hardly anyone teaches us how to do it consciously. And that is nothing but breathing. And to guide us through this fascinating conversation, we have someone who has dedicated her work to understand and teach the power of breath. And today we have with us Yukti Raj Kishore. She is breath coach, life coach, flow mentor, and founder of Yuktiness and Wellness Abundance Hub, and she is globally recognized breath coach, life coach, and most unique thing about her is she is India's first flow ambassador who has helped over more than 10,000 individuals to transform their health, mindset, and emotional well-being, and obviously to align their mind, body, soul through breathing, which is the most important thing. So, through her movement, Yuktiness, and her thriving community, Wellness Abundance Hub, she delivers high impact programs and they are very famous, like the Breathathon Challenge, then Healing Heart, and Breath Mastery Boot Camps. So, all are rooted in ancient breath science, emotional healing, and nervous system regulation. So, I welcome you, Yukti. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Snehal, for having me here. It's
Yes.
truly an honor and a great pleasure to have, to having me here. Thank you so much, for choosing me to on your podcast so that I can actually, spread my mission through you and through your YouTube channel to people of whole world how to breathe right and consciously. Live fully as you breathe consciously. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Yukti, and I'm sure it's going to be very, very interesting discussion today. And we'll start our discussion. So before we go into the science and knowing about how breath work is, involved in healing, I would like to know something little personal to you. So, like, what inspired you to enter in this field of especially very unique, that is breath coaching? I mean, was there just any particular incidents or maybe some transformation that made you choose this? Because this is very, I think, very important but ignored area of our body. So, what are your, story behind this?
Thank you for asking this wonderful question. I always love answering this question. Um, the people who were there, who are born in their 80s, 70s, and so on, the only thing they were doing after their graduation or doing their graduation was mostly either engineering and or doctorate. And I was one of them. So I did my engineering from, in electronics and communication. And then, of course, got married, did MBA in through one of the India's best MBA school, XLRI Jamshedpur, very successful at corporate, but internally a lot of disconnection was happening without me being even aware of it. Gradually, I was having a lot of stress, anxiety, panic attack issues. I was very short tempered. I used to cry every now and then, and without me knowing even that what is the reason. Not only that, I was having severe headache, migraine issues, 24 by 7, 365 days, thyroid issues. I met with an accident, broken my left knee, and I was running behind a lot of therapies, treatments, doctors, and somewhere there was a disconnect. Like I was getting improved, but it's still not fully feeling connected to myself, and that's where I come across breath. And someone told me, the coach told me, and the person that you see you are breathing wrong. And that's the reason, major reason you are so much stressed out. And me being logical, I actually laughed out in my mind thinking that, excuse me, how can you say that? Like breathing, and is it something? Because I was already doing yoga pranayama practices, and there was one more kriya by some of the great teachers. And somehow I was feeling good, but it was not resolving completely. So but when he shared a lot of science backed data with me and told me that you are a reverse breather, that was shocking for me because no neurologist, no doctors, no any health coaches or teachers has ever told me that I am a wrong breather, reverse breather rather. So I thought, okay, if this is something I am not doing correctly in me, and that to 20,000 plus times we are breathing, let me just start working on it. And that's where, uh, with zero hope, honestly, I thought कि मतलब क्या ही हो जाएगा kind of. But still, I started working on myself, and that has been a big game changer, turn around my life. I would say that uh, choosing breath and working with breath has been the biggest life turning transformative experience for me. So much so that as I started recovering from my lot of health issues, in fact, all the health issues, including thyroid, migraine issues, anxiety, panic attack issues, I could actually claim a very good health where I was doing 512 Surya Namaskar, 21-kilometer barefoot running, and completely healing my injuries, tailbone injuries, knee surgeries. That was the time when I quit my corporate job and completely dedicated my life to help people to, optimize their breath, to optimize their life. Because I've seen corporate people very closely, high performers like me, and silently they are struggling. Women, very closely, I have observed. And they are the ones who are suffering a lot silently, I feel. And because they always prioritize their family, their kids, without knowing that as a women, they must be the first priority. Because when wounded women cannot raise a healthy child.
True.
So
Like
yeah, this has been my journey.
very, very true. I mean, it's very, very powerful. I think as you share like how personal it is for you. I mean, that's why you're so much dedicated in this work. And we understand that obviously we are so conscious in choosing everything, like say choosing clothes for ourselves, choosing what kind of holidays we should be going for, what do we eat, but one thing which is very important, we do it unconsciously, and that is, of course, breathing. So let's understand like how we can be really, understand the science behind it and go a little deeper and be little conscious while we are breathing. So, of course, breathing is the first thing we do while we enter in this world. Of course, we are also waiting, oh, the first breath of the newborn. And of course, it's the last thing when we leave our body. So obviously, still we are not knowing the correct aspects of it. So I would like to ask you, like, why do you think like this breathing has become such an ignored process in this modern life, especially I would say in the modern life? And what actually happens to the brain and the body when our breathing patterns they are say very random or maybe fast or stress driven, how it is connected? I think it's on mute. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking for this wonderful, wonderful question. Uh, what I am experiencing through my life and now also that people are rushing.
Yes.
There's always a rush since the time they are getting up till the time they are sleeping or going to bed. In fact, they are, just crashing into the bed.
Yes.
That's it. So people are achieving more, but feeling less alive now. And I have also observed that most of the people, they have no idea how to rest anymore.
Yes.
Whereas this is where I teach people, how to relax. Because why what we are teaching people through all the education system, if you see, we are teaching people how to earn, how to compete, how to perform, but nobody teaches people how to regulate and relax themselves.
True.
And that is the most essential thing in life, actually. Okay. Uh, Most people are functioning, they are not flourishing. Whereas when you start working with the breath, your breath, I would say, is a mirror,
Yes.
not just a method or a technique. It's the mirror of your internal as well as your external reality, I would say.
Yes.
So, modern world rewards stimulation, not the regulation. We are always in so much of hurry, rush, and we are always stimulated. For example, if I ask you to sit for maybe just 2 minutes, or anyone basically, not to you, but anyone, just sit for 2 minutes, do nothing. It's very much impossible for people because they have become so addicted to, there's a speed addiction.
Yes.
There's a scrolling, mind is always engaged. I have to send this email, I have to order through Blinkit. So there is nervous system is always feeling chronically alert. Okay. And we are spending a lot of time in indoors, in offices or in homes, and somewhere with all these things, unconsciously we are running away from emotions. You feel something and then you just cope up with how scrolling a screen for
Yes.
quick dopamine, online shopping, or some other things where you are behaving as a binge behavior, watching Netflix, it could be, and you feel good. Whereas you have somewhere suppressed your emotions also.
Yes.
Our health and wellness system, if you see, they that is designed and that is promoting more of these two elements. That is nutrition. A lot of videos, a lot of people are there around nutrition and uh, the exercises. It could be anything, running, gymming, walking, jogging, even including yoga. So these two are more focused. Okay. And I am not denying that you don't need these two to have a good health. But do you know that even if you are taking care of these two things, but if you are not taking care of one very important aspect of life, that is the foundation of who you are, that is the foundation you are surviving, that is your very own breath.
True.
Research says, if you go and check out some books and do the research says that no amount of nutrition or exercise can help you if you are breathing wrong.
True. True. Very true. Yes. So,
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have this myth around that breathing means pranayam, and pranayam se hi hoga.
Yes.
And whereas I want to ask one question, most of the people think that this is the way it is, but I want to ask you because this is my life experience that if you're doing some 10 minutes, 5 minutes of breathing in the morning,
Mm.
and breathing is a constant process, somewhere around 20,000 plus breaths you are taking per day. And if rest of the day you are breathing wrong,
Yes.
can you reap the benefit of breathing?
No.
No. And that's what exactly is happening with people. They think doing breathing something in the morning, and if your rest of the day you are breathing dysfunctionally, they end up shouting,
Mm.
being reactive, low energy, exhaustion, mentally exhausted, physically, emotionally exhausted. And
Mm.
that's exactly what is happening with the people.
Mm.
So, and when you are chronically stressed out because of your wrong breathing reactiveness, you burn out. But have you observed that before burnout there is a change in your breath? There's always a breathlessness is there. Before anxieties kick in,
Mm.
there's a silent overbreathing is there.
Yes. True.
Before the emotional collapse happens, there's silent internal tightening happens. There's
Mm.
the grief when it's struck, there's a spasmodic breathing. You don't
Yes.
feel like you feel like there's a spasm in your chest. Your
True.
breath is hugely connected to your physical aspects as well as your emotional aspects also. So people have been conditioned through our health and wellness and medical system that you track your calories,
Mm.
sleep score, productivity, hormone, but nobody tracks the thing they do 20,000 plus times a day. That is your breath.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
So, so modern humans are breathing like they are constantly being chased. मतलब वो भाग रहे हैं. And even if they are stuck in traffic jam, they are actually feeling stressed out as if they have seen a tiger. Their nervous system is so much reactive.
True.
So your breath, especially now, 90% of the population is breathing wrong. So shallow breathing, if you are someone who is doing chest breathing, it is a sign, it's your body's language, it's your body's signal of hidden stress.
True.
Okay. Now the question that you have asked, that how breath, talks about or teaches. So I want to just simply tell you one thing. Breath, take it as a remote control of your state. Just take it as a remote control. So
Mm.
when you can do it now also, okay, you can keep your right palm over your chest and just start breathing shallow through your chest only, shallow, fast breathing, and just see how do you feel after that.
Mm. Yes.
The
Little
tension that is getting
tightness.
created,
Yeah. Tightness.
right?
Yeah.
Tension, tightness, right? And you're feeling your body is feeling stressed out. Now I
Yes.
want you to take a deep breath in, allow your belly to expand, exhale, keep your shoulders down, chest relax, to your nose only. Normal inhale and normal exhale.
Yes.
Inhale and belly expand, exhale, belly goes in, right?
Yeah.
So when you breathe right, when you breathe slow, deeper, rhythmic, your breath becomes slower, deeper, and calmer.
True. Very true. Yes.
It's
And
a
you
simple
feel
thing.
the
Your
shift.
heart rate,
Yes.
yeah. So when your breath is shallow and fast, the brain gets a signal that, oh, I'm in danger. And
Mm.
that's where your heart rate change, muscles get tightened, the blood that has supposed to help in digestive process, that is taken apart, taken away. Your digestive system slows down, hormonal shifts happen, and your body is actually experiencing survival mode on.
True.
But
True.
when you breathe slower, softer, deeper, rhythmic, calmer, the body receives a completely different message that, yeah, I'm safe. And that's what your brain decodes. So, can we actually control our heart, our lungs, our kidneys?
No.
No. But can we control our brain? And through brain, we can send these signals.
Mm.
So breath, okay, it is written, breath is the king of mind.
Yeah.
Your
Absolutely.
mind is the king of five senses, but
Yes.
your breath is the king of your mind. Yeah.
Very true. Very nice. I
Yeah.
mean, this is something I think cusp of this, discussion, like how important is the breathing. And as you have brought us to the nervous system, like, how everything it is coming down to your that fight and flight mode and sympathetic tone always and being in the survival mode, which is not at all helping us. So I would like to take you to the next question, taking forward this discussion, that how then, as you have rightly mentioned, how the breathing is like controlling even your brain and giving the signals. But then, as if we want to calm down, so as we know that it is a parasympathetic nervous system, that vagus nerve, so how we can use this connection to bring out your parasympathetic system or vagus nerve active, and maybe how this conscious breathing shift, as you were mentioning, that we do not pay attention, but if we pay attention, we make this conscious shift. How can we shift our nervous system from this survival to calmer mode or maybe receptive mode?
Okay, thanks for the wonderful question. So, see, if I have to simplify Vegas now, the what does it does? You can think of Vegas now like a body's calming highway.
Yes.
When you and there's one more way that I teach people how they can remember, the difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic. So I say people sympathetic. Okay, S for sympathetic, S for your stress mode is on.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
parasympathetic, okay, paradise mode on.
Yes.
Okay, that is your paradise, relaxed mode, rest and digest mode is on. So there is a whole lot of research that has happened, and I would like to share that also. So if you're someone whose breathing is slow, deeper, and calmer, with the moment you start doing a longer exhalation, your body gets the signal, your that I am safe and releasing the stress. 4 to 9 breaths per minute if somewhere you are breathing. That's where your nervous system is in your parasympathetic nervous system
Yes.
mode, where your body is healing. It has a healing tendency. It has a good immunity. That means your body is not prone to diseases easily. You have a healthy metabolism. Your hormones that are secreting are happy hormones.
Yes.
Whereas as your breath rate increases, faster breath rate, and
Hmm.
that usually happens when people are chest breather because they are only taking shorter breaths. So
Yes.
per minute, their breath rate increases to somewhere 12, 15, 20, 30. I have seen people. So if you are into this range, you are automatically triggering your sympathetic nervous system. Your brain or the nervous system is getting this information that I'm unsafe and stress mode on. You're always in, alert mode, always in alert mode. And that's where your stress hormones, cortisol levels go high. Your body has a toxic tendency, and that's why digestion slows down. It's difficult for you to digest food. Doesn't matter आप कितना अच्छा खा रहे हो. Doesn't matter how good the food, the nutritious food you are, taking in. There was this lady who was a CEO of a company, and she came to me for my one-on-one personal consultation. I remember in Bangalore only, and she told me that Yukti, I am taking best nutritious diet suggested to me by one of the best, top 10 India's nutrition coach. But
Hmm.
I'm still struggling, and I'm still keep getting these lot of acid reflux issues. So when I sat and I had a one-on-one with her, I could identify the loopholes or the gap. Do you want to know what was the loophole?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I tell you what the loophole was. It's not what you are eating. It is also how you are eating.
Yes.
So the
Hmm.
loophole was that even though the food was very, very nutritious, it was becoming poison because her body was stressed out due
Oh.
to a lot of work pressure, meetings constantly, and she was not fully consciously eating food. She was not present with the food. She was just gulping the food. She was in very much rush. Okay, so her nervous system was in stress mode. So it doesn't matter in that stress sympathetic mode, even the food, the best of the best food is becoming poison. It is not getting digested. Your digestive system is already has a slow down. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the one aspect. So healing, you can heal your body when your nervous system is in parasympathetic mode.
Yes.
Healing is difficult in our body that is constantly feeling unsafe and under attack.
True. True.
Yeah. So when you work with your breath, and there are, you can, a lot of people even ask me, Yukti, because uh, in Indian culture, we are the breath, when we talk about it, is more connected to the spirituality.
True.
Whereas in Western, there is more science oriented. And
Hmm.
there are the ways through which we can actually measure. One of them is our breath rate. Okay, a breath rate is a very powerful way that you can actually measure your breath and improve your breath. And there are certain more tests that we recommend. So when you start working with your breath, you are start going or more tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system. And
Yes.
the more you are experiencing, your body is experiencing a relaxed state, the more you are moving towards clarity, more focus.
True.
Okay, so the breath is bridge between the chaos and clarity.
True.
Or in other words, if I have to share, I say like, staying calm in chaos.
Yes.
You can master this, staying calm, present, and in chaos. Then I would say that yes, you are using your breath and
Yes.
use your breath for that. Yeah.
True, very true. I mean, it is really important to get there and master your breath so that you are controlling your nervous system. So it's a
Yes.
beautiful tool. Yes, yes. So taking this forward, because as we are talking about this sympathetic tone and stress and how it is affecting whole organs. Being into the field of fertility, of course, I see in and out every day, like these patients when they are undergoing treatments, but yes, physically we are doing the things, but emotionally still, they are carrying some negative emotions, maybe fears or anxieties, self doubts, maybe disappointments. So obviously it is also exhausting their nervous system. So like from your perspective, how this breathwork support can be a bigger one to these people as a complementary therapies, or supporting whatever treatments, not just in the fertility but any other treatment. So
Yeah.
how is your opinion
Yeah.
about
So I have worked with some of the pregnant women also, and I too am a mother of two kids. So I can tell you, breath work can be very miraculous for the people who are, either looking for, you know, getting pregnant, women who are looking to get pregnant, or the women who are already pregnant also. It's
it?
not the replacement for medicines, let me tell you, okay, for this specific people, set of people, but it supports
Yes,
for the women to receive treatment
true.
in a very miraculous way. Okay, women trying to conceive, what is that very very important is not just the physical, but they are often carrying stress, fear, peer pressure, family pressure, then some kind of a shame, guilt, self doubt. Can I conceive? Will it be? So there are a lot of limited patterns are there. Overthinking, emotional exhaustion are there. And of course, hormonal dysregulations are there. And your nervous system is already in a very high alert zone. But I tell you one thing very powerful. As I told you that your breath is the king of your mind. So mind works with your nervous system, but your breath is also very closely related, as I have already spoken about the physicality, and now I am taking you towards the emotional aspects. Your body is deeply intelligent,
Yes,
very, very deeply intelligent. And when you just start working with your breath and just aware of your breath,
yes,
you will shift from feeling unsafe survival mode to restoration mode to the next level, that is your rejuvenation, complete rejuvenated mode, right?
true. Very true.
Yeah. So, healing doesn't happen when you push harder.
Hmm.
Okay, healing happens when you start feeling, when your nervous system, your body starts feeling safe. And in this safe zone, in this safe experience, everything happens effortlessly, easily,
Yes.
in flow.
Yes.
And I think that's the very beautiful state a mother can experience,
Yes.
would be mother, or the already the pregnant women are there. So breath helps you to regulate your stress, your sleep, emotional processing, blood regulation, all these reactiveness that you are feeling, your overthinking. See, any person who is going to doctor, there's somewhere that is also a research that there's a certain stress is associated because there's a certain fear, oh, something is wrong. So I have students of mine, they have used breath to overcome the pre-operative stress and post-operative stress also. And they have seen a miraculous, uh, recovery in their life. There was this one lady whom I was treating. She was pregnant. She came to me, I think, in fifth month or something, and then she has learned breathing practices and everything. There's a different modalities, Nirvana flow movement, where I combine movement with the breath flow, and so she was able to firstly release those fear or tension from your body. That is very, very important for the women. And when she I remember when she was going to hospital, she was asking me which breath I should be doing, Yukti, and just going for the delivery. And
Wow.
then I told her some, yeah. So I told her, some practices with longer, deeper exhalation, and it was a wonderful, normal delivery she had. And even I was surprised that I think within 1 month only she have come back on mat and she started practicing.
Hmm.
Within 1 month, that was so surprising for me also. But she was completely recover herself.
Yes.
So many women are having a lot of invisible stress, a lot of invisible emotional load, whereas
Yes.
they keep just smiling. However, when you breathe, breathwork creates internal conditions that support healing,
True. Very true.
regulating your nervous system.
Mm. Mm. Yes. So I think it is, yeah.
Because,
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, so see, if you see your child, okay, when you are conceiving, it is not separate from you.
Mm. Yes.
So your emotions are also impacting your child.
Yes.
In fact, uh, one of my teacher has told me that initially this 0 to 3 months, 3 months to 6 months, and 6 months to 9 months, this is the most powerful space. And then when the delivery happens, 24 to 48 hours, where most of the sanskar or imprints um, are getting imprinted into the child that is getting born.
Yes. True.
Yeah.
It's very powerful that how this breathing, even it is complementing to the medicines, because that is very
Yes.
important, because we cannot be living our life totally on medications. It is like we
Yes.
need to, get back to our body originally, how we can support it by all these things. And you have rightly mentioned that not just with the nutrition and exercise, this is the basic, I think, backbone where breathing has to be right. And as we were discussing on this, as you mentioned that you use this nirvana flow practice where this breathing is combined with the movement, because of course I would like that you can explain this to our audience, because many of people like especially when I see now young girls, they are having hormonal imbalances, and now of course we are reading the recent change of this PCOS into PMOS, that is, polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. So, where, this weight loss is too much resistance. So, how can you explain about this? Like, how you combine this breathing with movement?
Yeah. The body is designed to breathe in motion.
Yes. Yes.
We sit too much, think too much, and that's where we feel disconnected, start feeling
Mm.
disconnected from our body.
Yes.
Whereas when the breath and the movement combine, synchronize, the mind stops over controlling, overthinking. Your
Okay.
mind has no other choice to be present.
Mm.
When your focus is on syncing your breath with the movement.
Mm.
So I give you an example. Suppose if we are practicing 4 count inhale and 4 count exhale, and
Mm.
I'm giving you this inhale 2, 3, 4, raise your
Mm.
hand, and exhale 2, 3, 4. You
Yes.
can't miss any count. Now I'm changing it to 4-8 breathing pattern, 4 count inhale and 8 count exhale. Now your brain has to be more attentive. That means
Mm.
inhale 2, 3, 4. While exhaling, 8 counts. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So movement are slower when
Yes.
I'm increasing the exhalation.
Yes.
Okay. So that is what I keep telling people to be present. And they start becoming present. Their mind actually start crashing like, okay, my mind is going there. I'm losing the steps. Okay, I come back to my practice.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
I personally have experienced this. You can actually catch your mind going into some direction, and then the flow gets disrupted, and then you bring it back to the present moment. This is
Yes.
especially very good for people who cannot sit and practice any meditation or breathing. And
Mm.
who are these people? Who are overtly having anxiety issues,
Mm.
chronic stress issues. For such people, it is very difficult to sit and practice, and that's the reason they find the meditation or breathing very, very boring.
Mm.
Honestly, if you're feeling it very boring, you have not tapped into this word, because this is the word where you feel high without taking any alcohol or smoking. You just feel high for no reason. You're not dependent on anything
Mm.
external. So these practices involves rhythm,
Mm.
flow, coordination, and these are your breath-led movements. You're
Mm.
training your nervous system to breathe in a certain way. And when you do that, automatically there's a lot of emotional discharge starts happening. Just being present. I had some very deja vu experiences without sitting in meditation for long hours. There have been some certain. I still remember. I have practiced flow movements for around 6 months, because I had got my tailbone injury and my tailbone was tilted.
Mhm.
So I cannot sit on mat to do this, because the floor hurts more if I'm
Yes.
sitting flat. So I used to do, there was this 1 or 2 exercises specifically that I used to do from chair. And my doctor has told that you have to undergo surgery, and doctors actually prescribe the best. I have huge, huge regard and respect to all the doctors, because they have been very transforming. I love all the doctors because we need them. We need their support for emergency, diagnostic, surgeries, and they do the best job. I have students also, and I have the person who has, I'm very grateful to the doctor, Dr. Shashidhar, who has actually, did my surgery. But what I mean to say is that that day, I could feel that my tailbone got healed. And first time I could do these practices by just being on the mat, just being on the mat without the chair. So body starts healing, body starts releasing, emptying that is no longer needed. Because if every physical disease also comes with emotional patterns.
Yes.
Every physical
Yes.
disease mostly comes with emotional patterns. If you are having thyroid, it is a sign that somewhere you are carrying this emotional pattern that, mera number kab aayega? When will I get a chance
Mm.
to speak for myself? Lungs, asthma people. Asthma is they don't feel safe to breathe for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the reason the lungs are compromised. That's the reason the breath is compromised.
Mm,
Arthritis, fear of moving forward in their life. So
mm,
every disease has this. But and these are like emotional. So we are not just blood and flesh. We are
mm.
also the outcome of love and losses.
Yes,
We are
true.
carrying love and losses also.
Very true.
So yeah, so when we move our body, okay, somatically, so energy starts shifting. It
Mm,
starts releasing in the form of sometimes you will find yourself yawning also. So movement without breath, if you're just sitting or doing without breath, it could be mechanical. But
yes,
breath with movement can be very, very transformational. It
yes.
helps you to be fully present. And that's what regulates you.
Wow.
Body heals beautifully in rhythm.
Mm, true. Very
Okay.
nice.
And there's a lot of science also behind, as you have mentioned about the weight loss. I would just like to give one quick science background trip that see uh, to lose basically I would not say weight loss, I will say fat loss that we don't need. So to get rid of the fat, we need to burn fat, and to burn fat, we need oxygen,
Yes.
right? So if you're someone who is a chest breather and you do not provide sufficient oxygen to your cells, cells are the smallest unit that we are made up of.
Mm,
So if we are not providing sufficient oxygen, our cells will become sicker and
true.
they will not function properly. And these sick cells will tend to, they will not be able to metabolize fat also.
Mm,
So when you breathe properly, there's a this condition is also called hypoxia, cellular level cell hypoxia. You can actually overcome this, provide good oxygenation so that your cells can actually burn, metabolize the fat. And the other benefit is you will be reducing the cortisol. Stressed body cannot lose weight.
yes, yes. True. Very true.
So, yeah, so cortisol levels will go down. Apart from that, you are also improving your CO2 tolerance.
Mm,
What is the CO2 tolerance? That is your ability to retain carbon dioxide.
mm,
And because in the presence of carbon dioxide, only oxygen gets absorbed in the blood.
yes.
So these practices helps you to improve your CO2 tolerance, improve your circulation, oxygen absorption. You're fully present, focus, reduce your lot of mental clutter. And the best is you are building a great body,
Mm.
mental resilience, physical resilience, emotional resilience.
True. Very nice. Very nice. I mean, it's wonderful. Of course, we would love to do it with you as you keep on doing it. I will mention that in the description. So whoever wants to connect, they can connect with you. And yes, we are almost, we have few minutes left. And then I would like to ask, as you mentioned about resilience and all. So even you do certain practices like, ice baths and all. So how they help for this resilience or transformation? Can you put some light about it?
Oh my God, this is, I would say, boom kind of experience if you
Yes.
ever get an opportunity to experience ice bath, but not as I would say, as more of a healing modality. If you can do it in a proper supervision, who are the trained ice bath trainers, facilitators, that could be very deeply life transforming.
Okay.
So the moment you think of ice, ice is a wonderful teacher, I would say. It's not about fighting or winning the ice as you are going into an ice bath and you are just boosting ego. If you are in an ego race, that is the same, rushing kind of a thing, right?
Yes.
Whereas what I have, you know, experienced and through all the teachings, what ice teaches you is it's okay not to be okay.
Okay.
How? You are getting into the ice, and what is your first? I can't do, I can't do, I can't do, I can't do. I have to just come out of it because that's how your nervous system start reacting. Your
Mm.
breath is going chaotic completely. Your mind is panicked. But that's where, if you are fully trained before by a facilitator, or if you're working under me, I can certainly train you. We use breath. We use breath. A lot of techniques, tips are involved in this, the whole conditioning. Before that, we do a wonderful, powerful breath work. So when we do this, so breath work and ice bath, it's a wonderful combination. It reset. You learn to stay even if you're not feeling uncomfortable.
Okay.
So you are creating this mental pattern that I can stay calm even under stress. And
Mm.
it's okay not to be okay.
Yes, very nice.
And if you see, that's exactly what your life is demanding.
True.
So there was this couple who has come into our ice bath. The wife has actually pulled the husband. He was a finance guy, and the wife was a teacher. And after coming from ice bath, this finance guy who was pulled in just very unwillingly, he shared that before going to ice bath, I was very much worried about my finance and everything. But now after coming from ice bath, I'm just feeling like this is nothing. I
Yes.
can handle it all very well. If I can do ice bath and I have learned this that it's okay not to be okay. So this stress that I have अपने आप के ऊपर ओढ़ लिया है, that is nothing for me. Yeah? So you don't. I always also keep saying this. You don't need more comfort. You need to improve your stress handling capacity.
True. Yes, very nice. I think this was the statement for from this podcast that it's okay to be not okay. So we have to
Yeah.
learn all this, and I think these practices are helping to have this transformation in real way, actually, and long lasting way. So we are almost at the end of our podcast. So before we end, before we close, I would like to for you to share some tip or daily practices how our listeners can incorporate it. It is not even just for healing, or not that if someone is sick, it is just like your routine practice. So what would be your message to all of them?
Okay, great. So I would teach you today some very wonderful foundation practice that I truly want each one of you, those who are listening this podcast, to practice till your last breath. This is how you should be making it as a part of your lifestyle. We call it as a conscious beat fit lifestyle. It is very, very simple. And it doesn't require your extra time or something. It just requires your presence and connection with your breath. That's it. So all that you can do is, for beginners, you can keep your right palm over your belly and other hand over your chest so that you feel more connected with your body. Uh, for after gradual practice, maybe just for maybe 10-15 days, you don't need to keep your hands, and you can just anywhere. आप शादी में बैठे हो, आप ऑफिस का काम कर रहे हो, as I'm talking to you, you are talking to someone, just inhale, allow your belly to expand, exhale, belly goes in, keeping your chest relaxed, shoulders down, chin parallel, keeping your spine erect. Inhale, belly expand. Exhale, belly goes in. Simple. Inhale, belly expand. Exhale, belly goes in. Just give yourself, you know, anywhere in the day. I would like you to keep practicing it every hour, maybe just 2 minutes, or every 2 hours. Build this practice. 2 minutes. Or even just you may say that, okay, I'll check for 10 breaths. So inhale, belly expand, and exhale, release it. Inhale, belly expand. Exhale, release it. How am I feeling now? How am I breathing now? So by
Mm.
asking this question, you will always be in touch with your emotions also. Someday you will feel like breathing out through your mouth, and that is okay. So
Mm.
this is like a release. So you feel like nose inhale. So keep your inhale always through your nose. Exhale through your mouth or through your nose. You can switch. based on how you are feeling. If you have to reset, release emotion, you're feeling tension, you can just breathe out through your mouth, longer exhalation, or after some breaths, you can switch back to nose inhale and nose exhale.
Mm.
But default, your breathing pattern has to be nose inhale and nose exhale. Why? Because nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. Okay? So, so just being aware itself is healing. And
Mm.
when you start exhaling longer, slower, deeper, calmer, your body starts feeling more calmer. So you can do by afternoon or evening these reset practices, or before you go to bed, you can do these reset practice. One conscious breath before you respond can actually change your relationship.
Yes, true. Very important. And I think very wonderful message that everyone should, do these practices every single day at different times of the day. Yes. So thank you so much, Yukti. That was really wonderful discussion. I mean, of course, we have understood that how breathing is like a medicine when we use it consciously. And of course, it will complement your medications if you're on any. And definitely, we have understood that now no one would take their next breathe or, I mean, I would say breathing or breath granted after listening to this. We really have understood the importance and how it is actual control of your brain, and ultimately brain is controlling whole of your body. And we are really grateful to you for sharing your experiences, your wisdoms, and these small practices, and making it more, interesting, practical, so that every one of us can use it. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching us. And you can share your comments or any questions. Of course, I will share description about Yukti and her contact, so that whoever wants to connect, they can connect. And thank you so much for joining us today. And definitely we'll be back with another interesting topic. Thank you, Yukti. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me here. And I would just say take a deep breath in, everyone, those who are listening, and breathe out. Inhale fully and exhale fully. And always remember one thing: the quality of your breath quietly becomes the quality of your life you are living. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful end of this session. Thank you.